WSTB, Clarksville. Hey everybody, welcome to today's session at St. Bethlehem's United Methodist Church with Pastor Richard Wesley and co-host Ashley Kettle. Enjoy.
Hi, and welcome to WSTB, Clarksville. I'm Richard Wesley, and I'm here in the St. Bethlehem United Methodist Church studio with our co-host Ashley Kettle. Hi, Ashley. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Always good to work with you. Let's talk about what's going on this Sunday at St. Bethlehem United Methodist Church. This is September the 8th. It is the second Sunday of the month, and that means for us it's New Song Sunday. Margaret's going to be teaching us a brand new song. It's one that you probably are familiar with. If you've ever been to annual conference, I know you've heard it because every annual conference begins, and this is a Wesley tradition from Charles and John Wesley's day, begins with this song, "And Are We Yet Alive?" Now, Ashley's going to create some history of this song in our worship folder this Sunday. And you might even learn in that why John Wesley changed the words to this hymn, because his brother wrote it a little differently. And John said, you might want to, especially if you've got a brother. Well, in the story Sunday morning, the traditional worship service, John's at it again. John Wesley's up to Jesus is at it again. And I read this passage and I keep asking, is it just me? Or does this sound impossible? I mean, here's some notes from my sermon that I'm working on. I talk about how hard these words are to hear. And Jesus is saying them because Jesus is saying you've got to hate your parents and your siblings and your wife and your children. You've got to hate them. Well, you can't even be a follower of mine. And I'm going, really? He goes on and he says you've got to carry your cross. Now, I get that one. And we'll talk a little bit about that, what that cross actually meant, because some of his followers actually were actually killed on a cross as well. And some of them were killed in different ways, but killed by the government. And then he comes back to this, what he's been harping on before. If you're going to be my follower, you can't have any possessions. You've got to give everything away. Is it just me? Or does this sound impossible? So we're going to look at that in the traditional worship service at 9 a.m. Now, in our Exploring Life service, we're in Revelation chapter 12. And last Sunday, we saw, in apocalyptic terminology, we saw the crucifixion of Jesus, the resurrection of Jesus, and the ascension of Jesus. Now, when you and I talked a little bit about that earlier today, did you see those in those scriptures? Could you identify the crucifixion, the resurrection, and the ascension? Yeah, it's right there. It's right there. But as soon as that's over, and we covered this last week, as soon as that's over, the Revelation ties that into the Ark of the Covenant. Now, what we have learned is that throughout the Revelation, we get a copy of something, and then we get the real thing. The real thing is in the heavenly throne room, and the copy is here on the earth. And so we're told, when John is told to copy something, we see that the something is real, and then there's a copy of it. Well, we see the same thing with the Ark of the Covenant. And when we discovered the truth about the Ark of the Covenant, we discovered that I suggested, that's what will give us the strength to really bear what 666 is. And so within the next 2 weeks, we're going to uncover that little mystery 666. And I suggest that if the Revelation were playing out today, the number would not be 666, but it would be 427. We'll see that within the next couple of weeks. All right. That's what's going on Sunday. But what's going on And the next little bit is Ashley's top 5.
Yes.
What are you going to share with us today, Ashley?
Some interesting facts.
Oh boy.
Interesting and fun facts. Not about myself, John. I've already divulged.
This isn't about you, huh?
Oh, no.
All right.
I may throw in a little extra stuff.
Oh, good, good.
So number 5, more than 50% of the people in the world have never made or received a phone call.
Wow.
I wish I was in that category.
Wow. Are they all texting? Is that what? Wow.
Chances of being struck by lightning is 1 in 835,500.
Okay.
Now, I do have a scary experience with this.
Ah.
I was outside one night. There was a storm brewing. You could feel it. You could see it. I mean, it was just thick with storm. And this girl looked at me, and she had this just look of horror on her face. And I was like, what's wrong? And my hair was probably about this length. She said, your hair is standing on end. I was like,
Isn't that one of those tells that the charge is building up?
Yeah, so I went inside quickly.
1 in how many?
835,500, so I could have been that.
You could have been one of the special people in the world. But no. I'm glad you went inside.
Yes, thank you. Chances of being injured by a chainsaw.
Okay.
1 in 4,464.
Now, how many people use chainsaws? 1 in 4,464 people? And every one of them get damaged.
But when I was a child,
Oh, here we go.
I was at the ballpark, Marycourt Park, where I played softball, and there was a tree hanging over a slide that was a limb that was in danger of falling, and someone was cutting the limb off and slipped and cut his leg, and I witnessed that.
Whoa!
He did not cut his leg off, but
Good,
he cut
good.
it very deeply.
I'd say he's 1 in 4,400.
He was, and I was a bit traumatized by that.
That's why you happen to put that one on the list.
I guess these are more about me than I thought.
Well, there you go.
11% of people are left-handed. Only 11%.
Only 11% of people are left-handed.
One
Wow,
of
you
those.
are one of those. Nice.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, it is impossible to lick your elbow.
I'm not going to even try.
I might have
At
been,
least not while you're watching.
I might have been side-eyeing you to see if you're if you're doing it. Don't worry. We may have all tried it.
It's impossible to do, huh? Well, there you go.
He's gonna try it later.
He might try it later. You just never know.
So there you go.
Well, all right. I tell you what, you just never know what you're going to learn on WSTB Clarksville. Hey, we hope you're having a great day. Hope you have a great weekend. Can't wait to see you Sunday. Be sure you check in next week when you'll get some more of the great wisdom of Ashley. This concludes this week's episode of WSTB Clarksville. Say goodbye, Ashley.
Goodbye, Ashley.
Goodbye, Ashley. So, I'll take your word for it because, just thinking about it makes it seem, yeah, I think you're right. Wow. All righty then.